just basically the only questions we could think of. I think right now, at least for me, I'm not sure about Jasper. It's just his state of mind, leading up to the event, and then what his state of mind was during the event.
Okay.
He did kind of give us a breakdown of of what he was feeling, how he was feeling. He kind of gave us a past history of some traumatic events that have happened.
Okay.
But
Okay.
of course, we're attorneys, we're not lawyers or doctors.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Totally understandable.
I mean, that's the only questions I can really think of. Jasper, do you have any particular questions you want asked other than what the doctor has?
Not really. The only thing I could think of is he claims that, or let me real quick look over something real quick.
No, I'm independent. I work out of a private office in Vinewood Hills, New York. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the first thing when they reached out to me. To make sure that I was independent. I actually don't work for penitentiaries. It's pretty tough, man. All right, what you got for me, man?
Well, now he was having some issues with sleeping, paranoia, um, basically a lot of paranoia, and which goes hand in hand with PTSD. That is from
Right,
me.
right.
I'm not a professional, but yeah, this is what he claims. There was some more, but that paperwork is on my desk, um,
Okay.
and I'll just confirm and cross-reference whatever you say with
Oh,
what we have.
all right. You got it. Not a problem.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Are you okay with us recording the session, or do you
Absolutely, man. Do your thing. I mean, if it's
It's really the only thing that we can talk about for recording purposes.
as long as it's only used for the purposes of for court, like to
Yeah,
prove his case.
yeah.
Any other purposes, definitely not an issue.
Okay, cool.
Thank
Alrighty.
you.
No, no problem. Thank you. Mr. Mehoff, how are you?
I'm good.
Dr. Russell Barkley again. I'm here with your attorneys.
Yes, sir. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hello,
We're
how are
good.
you?
Anything you would like to express to your attorneys before we get on with the process?
Yeah, I thought I was going to a hospital.
They decided to perform it here. They're just going to ask some questions. It's not like they're going to take some blood work unless that's needed to confirm some other things. But other than that, they're going to come. They're just going to do it here. Okay.
Okay, I've been locked in a cell all by myself for 23 hours a day, and it's not helping.
I know. I've
I
I've
know.
talked I've talked to the court on that, and they're working on that situation. Okay.
Okay, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. But we're just gonna stand back right here, Mr. Mehoff. We're gonna let the doctor ask you a couple questions. We're here, um, for you, of course. So if you need anything, we're just right here still. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mehoff. So we'll start with some basic questions. All right. Why don't you start with telling me your first name and your last name?
My name is Jack Mehoff.
Oh, okay. You want to spell your last name for me, sir?
Yes, sir. It's Mehoff.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you for that. And how old are you, Mr. Mehoff?
I don't know. Give me 1 second. I don't know how old I am. I believe I'm 30, 35 or 36.
Okay, okay, 35, 36. All right, you want to tell me your birthday, Mr. Mehoff?
Oh, God. No. Now, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's 5486.
Okay, okay.
Not a out of character, not 100% sure what I put down for this guy's birthday.
Nah, you good, you good.
If I find it, I'll let you know.
All right, that's fine. Again, this is not. There's no wrong or right. We're just we're getting to know each other here,
Okay.
and I'm just simply asking you some questions, man. Don't feel nervous. If you don't
Well,
remember, that's fine. You
I'm.
can tell me that.
Well, to be fair, sir, I'm always nervous.
Okay, okay, okay. Understandable. All right, sir. And do you have a home address that you remember that you could tell me?
Yes, I live at 438. It's in Mirror Park. I live next to my buddy. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to remember the
Okay,
street name.
that's good enough. That's good enough. As long as you know the
Okay.
area.
Yeah, it's 438.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
I believe it's a tannish house.
Okay, 10 house got that. All right, Mr. Mihofen, do you own any vehicles? Do you have a driver's license?
I do own some vehicles, yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Have you always lived in that area?
No, I moved from Polito once I got really close with my friend Anthony. The house next to him was for sale, so I bought it just so I could. After my situation with Mr. Sizemore, the first time I didn't like being by myself. I was always scared.
Okay, okay, okay. I can understand that. I hear you talking a lot about your friends. Why don't you tell me a bit about your family and a little bit about
I don't.
a background?
I have a cousin, but we don't really talk a lot. And my friend's Anthony. He lives next to me. He's a really good friend. He's
Okay,
helped me through some stuff. And then I don't have any other family that lives here.
okay, okay. Do you keep in contact?
No, my mom and dad died when I was in my 20s.
Oh, sorry to hear that. My condolences.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And
Very welcome.
I was the only child.
Okay, okay. No siblings.
No, sir.
All right.
Not that not to be fair, not that I know of. My dad was going a lot, so there might be some little other Mehoffs running around. I don't know.
I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, man. And so is there?
Mom and dad always fought, so it was weird.
Okay, okay. So you have a bit of an experience in an occurrence that's impacted you significantly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Listen, Doc. I'm not a really smart man, so I don't I don't know a lot of big words.
Okay, okay. All right. So what I'm saying is that in your life you've experienced enough that's impacted you and kind of stuck in your head.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. You feel comfortable about maybe maybe some things that it led you to throughout
Well,
the trauma that you've been through, like
well,
some of the actions that you may have taken
well.
recently, any course of events that you may have been through.
I know when my mom and dad, when they would start fighting, my dad would hit my mama, and then my mama would whoop his tail. Uh, like she was from what's that wrestling, that WWE?
Yeah, okay,
She'd pick
heard of
him
it.
up and put him through tables, and
Okay,
then
okay.
he'd leave for like 3 or 4 days, and then he'd come back.
Okay, how did that make you feel? Did it make you feel?
I always never
And
wanted
did
to
you
be
make?
like them.
Okay, okay,
I wanted to find a wife and treat her good, and then hopefully she would treat me good.
understandable, understandable. Type of that type of behavior from your parents didn't make you nervous.
Yeah, I always ran and hid in my room, a closet. I had a pillow and blanket in there, and I would hide in the closet.
Okay, okay,
I had a flashlight. I had a book. I actually had a couple books.
okay. So you were just stay in the closet and read some books until all the noise calmed down.
Yeah, yes, sir. Sometimes I'd just fall asleep in there, and I'd wake up in the morning, and that's when I would see more of the destruction in the house. We always had new furniture. Well, new used furniture.
Okay, okay. All right, sir. Let's talk a little bit more about you as an individual.
Okay, sir.
So growing up, or like recently, before you've been in here, what led you in here? Like, what do you do for a living?
So my life. I moved here from Liberty City, and I I had bought a food truck because I like to cook. It helps me stay calm and stuff like that. Um, and I had just bought a food truck, and then I got pulled over by a LSPD officer. I think his last name was Shark. Um, and he
Okay,
arrested me for Grand Theft Auto, and he said I stole it with a gun, and I told him I didn't have a gun.
okay,
So I got arrested, and I could never find work. So I unfortunately I had to turn to a life of crime.
okay,
Just petty stuff, nothing too serious. And then finally, Auto's towing. They gave me a job.
okay, okay. So after the crime life and all that, then you ended up working like a good citizen.
Yes, sir. I wanted to straighten up my life and finally settle down, find me a nice woman
Okay, okay.
or lady. I'm sorry, Miss Hill, a lady.
All right, so let me ask you this. Being that you came from that background and you're trying to settle down, right? You're trying to change your life, you find a job. Have you been like how are your sleeping habits for like the
I,
past maybe 6 months to a year? Like,
so ever since I don't get a lot of sleep, to be fair. Um,
okay.
I get
What would you
woken
say is
up.
your difficult in sleeping? What would you say is your most difficult thing that keeps you from sleep?
I have dreams, bad
Okay,
dreams.
okay. So
Uh,
these dreams are like any dreams that you can remember?
yeah, a couple of them are mom and daddy fighting, and then after my
Okay,
incident with Mr. Sizemore, I was always dreaming that he was kidnapping me and shooting me like he threatened me with.
okay, okay. All right, sir. So how do we describe and discuss how you end up in here?
So honestly, it was all a blur. I woke up. Well, I was awake all night the night before, and um, I said, you know what? It's time for Mr. Sizemore to feel how I feel, to feel scared all the time. So
Okay,
I went to Zancudo. I found a flight suit in the donation bin. I don't know why it was in there. but
Okay.
I found it, and I used that to get on. Told him I had to take a helicopter for some service, and another I had to take. I'm sorry, I had to take the helicopter to the aircraft carrier because they wanted it, and they were gonna bring me back, but I stole it, and I flew. I flew to Mission Row PD,
Okay.
and I called 911 on my cell phone while I was in the helicopter, and I was talking with Officer Cortez,
Okay.
and I told him I was not gonna hurt Mr. Sizemore. I just wanted him to feel my pain, and I wanted him to know what it was like to be scared all the time. So I wanted to kidnap him, and and before, like my vision got blurry and stuff while I was flying the helicopter and talking to him, because I kept
Right.
hearing voices in my head of Mr. Sizemore yelling at me when he worked for BCSO, saying that he was going to shoot me when all I was doing was sitting across the street taking pictures of the police cars.
Okay. Okay.
And so I told him to put Mr. Sizemore handcuffed on the roof, that I wasn't going to hurt him. And he said, okay. He said, can you make me a promise that you're not going to hurt him? I said, I'm not going to hurt him. I asked for some money. As like, oh, I don't know this big word that I'm trying to say.
All right. Take your time.
It's where, they pay you when somebody's done you wrong.
So, like, you're
I
trying to
think it
put a
starts
hit
with like a R.
or R?
Reparations?
What was that, Mr. Rich?
Reparations?
Yeah, that sounds right. I think so. Is that what I'm closely like
So
saying?
reparations would be that's, something bad happened to you where someone had to pay you because of what's happened to you or in the history of your family.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. And um, Mr. Cortez said that he would have Mr. Sizemore on the roof. I asked him to be handcuffed because I didn't want him to shoot me. I was scared.
Okay.
And Mr. Sizemore showed up on the roof, and I flew over a couple times, and then I landed, and I kept telling him to get in the helicopter. I wasn't going to hurt him. I just wanted to scare him because of how I felt. And then, as I was sitting there, he kept saying something about his knee. His knee was hurt or something. And then all
Okay.
of a sudden, I started taking shots on my helicopter, or on the helicopter I took. And then when I lifted off really quick because I got really scared, and I thought he was really trying to kill me that time, and like I didn't hurt him. I wasn't trying to hurt him or nothing. I wasn't yelling at him or anything. I was being nice. I just kept telling him to get in the helicopter. Everything was gonna be fine. And when that happened, I got scared, and I guess the guns were loaded on that helicopter I took.
Right.
And I shot the edge of the building, nowhere near the police officers that came out of the door and was shooting at me.
Okay. In this exact moment, what were you thinking? Like, what was going through your head and that and all that while you were there?
Uh,
Just to get back at that officer?
yes, sir, but I wasn't trying to hurt him. Like I said, I bumped the trigger on that helicopter. I'm not a pilot.
Okay, so let me ask you this: I mean, how did you feel in control in that like you were in control in that situation there? Like you
I,
had control over everybody in that situation?
I felt I had control over him when he was on the roof, but
Okay.
when I started taking shots, I honestly, I wanted to crash the helicopter and hope I went down with it.
Okay, okay.
But
Well,
I'm
that's
not
not good.
suicidal though. I'm not. I got really scared, and and I flew around for a minute, and the there was a state helicopter near me, and I was talking to Mr. Cortez still, and I told him, I said, you said nobody was gonna hurt me, and he said I didn't tell them to shoot. I don't know why they shot. And then I flew past the state helicopter, and I told them to leave. And Mr. Cortez said, he'll have them leave, and I landed back on Mission Row PD like a couple minutes later, and I kept telling and I told him again, Mr. Sizemore, I need you to just get in the helicopter. And he was telling me no, he couldn't hear me or something.
Okay.
And the next thing I know, I was I like went to sleep. And then he said that somebody shot me. And I said, why'd you shoot me? I didn't do nothing.
Okay, okay. Excuse me for the pause. I'm just making sure I'm writing all this down.
No, you're good, sir. If you need me to say something again, I can.
Okay, so what led you to these turn of events where you just kept every day thinking about and dreaming about this officer screaming at you, and how
I
it
wouldn't
led you
call
in?
them dreams. I'd call them nightmares.
Okay, nightmares as you call them. Okay, okay, that's understandable. All right, so after you having these nightmares, you just woke up and said, "I'm gonna do this today, and this is how it's going down, and nobody's gonna stop me."
Well, I knew. I thought, I honestly was hoping Mr. Cortez was going to talk me out of it. But
Okay,
I was really scared, and like I said, I wanted him to feel the pain that I feel every day of my life. Even in here, I don't
okay.
sleep.
So you're saying, okay, so you're also saying you wanted him to feel the pain you feel, but then you go back to, let's go back a little bit
Okay.
and talk about how you feel you wanted Officer Cortez, if that's the name, correct, right, sir?
Yeah,
You
cause
wanted Officer Cortez to kind of stop you. So is it kind of that you're looking maybe for attention that you're not getting? Like, are you do you feel supported from your friends? Maybe were you looking for some type of support, and maybe this was your type of way of getting it, making
no,
some big
no, no,
noise.
no.
Okay, okay,
That's not what happened.
okay.
So
I'm just asking.
when I was saying like I kind of feel like I was in a daze that day, but I remember everything that happened.
Okay,
Like after I got shot at, like I kind of woke up, and um, I feel like that uh, I was kind of hoping like to just disappear, and like it didn't happen. But then I said no, he's got to feel the pain I feel every day of being scared every day after being treated the way I was treated for no reason.
okay, okay.
But like I said, I don't sleep a lot. I mean, I pace around. I feel like I've lost like at least 30 pounds just walking around in my cell at night.
And has this been a normal thing from before this situation?
Um, a little
Have
bit.
you?
Not. It wasn't as bad until after what happened with Mr. Sizemore.
Right, right.
Like, I had nightmares. I didn't sleep the greatest as it was, but I had nightmares of my parents fighting and stuff like that.
And all the yelling from that and everything.
Yeah, and then he started yelling at me, and it just like spiked it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just like I
Understandable,
feel like it
100%.
just triggered everything.
Right, right. and that's understandable. I mean, so this is I know you say you don't understand big words and all that, but this is trauma that you've endured for a very long time. That's gonna sit with you.
Yes, sir. And my mama and daddy weren't very didn't have a lot of money growing up, so I was
Right.
never able to go talk to anybody. And then I don't have a lot of money now, but I wanted to seek help, but I couldn't find it. And my buddy Anthony, he was helping me. He would talk to me, and like I would text him in the middle of the night. I can't sleep, especially after this Mr. Sizemore did what he did to me, and he would text, like I would wake him up and I would feel bad, but he would tell me everything's gonna be all right. Just we'll get through this. But I felt like it was never going to end.
Okay. Okay. All right. So on a regular day-to-day basis, everyday life, how do you cope when times get tough? Like when other situations occur and you get rage to that point, or it affects you every day. Like, how do you cope with that?
So like when people start yelling, or like I said, I'm a tow truck driver, so
Right.
um normally I'm just there after like police call me and say they need somebody towed, or but once, like, if I hear yelling, like, I really tense up, and
Okay.
I get
Okay.
really anxious.
Okay. And what are your management strategies towards that? Like, what do you do to keep yourself calm before you end up in a situation like you are now?
I don't know. I just I try to keep myself busy.
Okay. Okay.
I
Like,
don't I
you
don't know I
you try
don't
to
know
walk
any.
away from the yelling and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
maybe not deal with it, right?
I tense up and I get really anxious, and I try to get it away, a little bit away from it, so like I'm not right there. But like I don't know
Okay.
any. I think it's called coping. I don't know any coping
Yes.
things
Coping.
that would help me.
Okay. Okay. And that's understandable, right? Sometimes people suffer from things in life and they may not know who to go to or have anybody to guide them in the right way for the proper tools they need to kind of help them with the management they need for that. And who would you say that, I mean, close people, who would you say that you have that supports you socially when it comes to these type of anger issues, when you have, like, when you
I
want to talk to somebody about it?
I don't have anger issues. I have anxiety, I
What
think.
anxiety is what you
Yes,
okay.
sir. Like I get really nervous, and I'll start sweating for no reason, and
Okay.
sometimes it's hard
Okay.
for me to breathe. But
Okay.
my friend Anthony, he's been helping me. He calms me down.
You sweat a lot, hard for you to breathe.
Yes,
Is it
sir.
like a cold sweat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And how long does that last? Like like any shaking in the legs, or
Yeah,
like if you're sitting down and you're going through some type of anxiety, any shaking in the legs that come for it, or like in the arms. Some people tend to bite their nails. Any of that type of events happen?
I do bite my nails a lot, and
Okay,
then my knees get weak, and my arms feel like they're heavy.
okay, okay. And on a regular day-to-day basis, everyday life, how do you normally express your emotions and how you're feeling?
I cry a lot.
Okay,
I'm
and
not gonna lie.
you know
Men
exactly
cry.
why. No, that listen, that's totally fine. Any man that tell you he doesn't cry, I'm gonna tell you right now, he's an absolute liar.
I agree.
Um, so do you know what do you cry about, or is it just something that, I mean, obviously it comes from thoughts, right? But what type of thoughts make you cry the most?
Just everything that's happened to me in life.
Okay,
I feel
okay,
like I can never win. I can never, get out of this hole that I'm in.
okay, understandable. All right, Mr. Mehoff. anything else you want to share with me freely that you think I may need to know for this evaluation?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Just one last question here as I look back to some of the notes.
Okay.
If you do get any sleep, what do you say is the most hours you get
Sometimes like 2, maybe 3 hours a night.
a night? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not. I'm tired all the time. I don't. I never feel rested.
Okay. Okay. So how are you like with patients? Like if you're waiting on a long line or like any of that stuff bother you?
I get really anxious when I'm in crowds and like when I'm trying to get out. Like I can feel like an anxiety issue happening,
Okay.
and I like just start like I said, I just start sweating and hoping that, like, especially at the grocery store or something, I just
Right.
hope that the line just starts moving and that everybody goes fast so I can get out of there. Now, there has been some times that I've been in the grocery store and in a long line that I just leave my stuff and leave.
Okay. All right.
And then
So
I go back later, like in the evening time, like 10, 11 o'clock at night when there's nobody there.
okay, understandable. So you're more of a guy who kind of sticks to himself or his close friends.
Yes, sir.
All right. That's understandable. All right, Mr. Mehoff. I think I'm done with my questions. Anything you want to talk to your attorneys about before we get out of here? I can step out the room if you would like to speak to them freely. That's fine.
Um, I think I have one question for them, but I don't know. I'm hoping. Uh, um, I thought I was. I don't know.
Okay. You have any questions for me, sir?
No, I'm just feeling really anxious right now.
Okay. Okay.
And you know, I did. Yeah, I do have something to tell them.
All right. What's making you feel anxious, if you don't mind me asking? Is
All
it
of this.
being out here alone?
No, just all of this. Like it's been nice to be out of my cell because, like I said, when I'm in my cell, I'm in there 23 hours a day. I only get to go outside for about an hour, and I feel like the walls are closing in on me.
I hear you. I hear you. Understandable. Okay. So I'll let you ask your questions to the lawyer. I'll tell them what you need to tell them.
Okay, thank you, sir. I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate no problem. I appreciate your cooperation, Mr. Mehoff.
Yes, sir. I'm not a
I
bad
will be
guy.
talking to the doctor, and I'll let you talk to Richie here, okay?
Oh, okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Hey, Jack. What's going
Mr.
on?
Mr. Rich, I have been asking to go see the doctor here when I get really
Hmm.
anxious to see if there's anything they can give me. And the deputy or the prison guards, they keep telling me that I'm full of it.
Well, that's why we had this today, because what it is the reason it took so long is the courts, when we asked for this type of eval to be done, um, they agreed to send you to I had asked them to send you to a psychiatric facility, a psychiatric hospital,
Okay.
to get you out of here.
Yes, sir.
But the judge ruled that because the prison has a psychiatric ward, that they were going to put you in that instead. And I opposed it and kind of even brought up the concern that you had mentioned to me about, the amount of time that you're spending in your cell. Um, so I did mention that to them. And the reason it took so long to even get a doctor to come out here is because the state kept trying to say that we'll use a doctor that's inside the prison. We'll use a doctor that's inside the prison. And I
I
kept
have
telling,
not seen him one time.
no, I know. And I told him, And that's kind of why I told him. I said, look, I said, it's going to create a bias. It's going to create favoritism because the doctor will put down on the notes what the judge tells him to put down on the notes rather than being unbiased.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we had the doctor here today. The doctor here today is not employed by the state. He's not employed by my firm. He's not employed by any of the law enforcement offices. He's not employed by the courts. Nothing. He's an independent doctor.
Okay.
So this was a doctor that both we agreed on, the DA agreed on, and the courts agreed on.
Okay.
So that's kind of why it took so long to get this evaluation done.
Okay, I
All
understand.
right. So a lot of it's gonna ride on what this doctor writes up in the report right now.
Okay.
I will ask that he make a notion to the judge, to get you into psychiatric general population rather than psychiatric uh isolation, I guess is the way of putting it.
Yes, sir.
So that way you have some more time outside, more time, what you can do. Because I know they have to take safety precautions,
Right.
for stuff, but at the same time, it doesn't do well. And I've already kind of raised that as being a cruel and unusual punishment under the Eighth Amendment.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I feel like
so
I'm being punished being by myself.
yeah, no, definitely. Your cell,
And
23 hours a day, padded cell, no sounds whatsoever.
yeah,
I trust me, I get you, and
I
that
just
is
have
that
the
that's a
sounds
form
in
of
my
torture.
heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, but we're working on it. Trust me, we're working hard. Um, Unfortunately, with this month there was a lot of holidays this month, so there was a lot of 3, 4 day weekends.
Yeah, I know. I missed Christmas with my friend.
Yeah, I know, and I apologize for that. And I
It's
again, I
it's not
apologize for this taking so long.
it's not your fault. I come to the realization that I shouldn't have did what I did. But
Mhm.
like I said, I was kind of in a daze, and I just wanted him to feel the pain that I feel.
No, I get you on that. So, but um, I think the nice thing is Jasper. She has a good understanding of PTSD as she's had family go through it,
Okay.
which is why she suggested the evaluation.
Okay, I
Um,
appreciate it.
yeah, so she's able to kind of confer with the doctors. That's why she's talking to the doctor out there, is because
Okay.
you know she wants to make sure that all the necessary questions were asked, to get a fair ruling in judgment.
I gotcha.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to talk to us about?
No, I'll just wait here until I hear from you.
Okay. And I'll talk to like I said, I'm gonna talk to the judge so that way the judge talks to the warden about your situation, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty. If you need anything, give me a phone call, tell the judge, tell the guards and stuff like that, or even if it's on that 1 hour of free time that you're out, if you need to get on a phone call, call me, okay?
Okay, will do. Thank you, Mr. Rich.
Yep, no problem.
All right, I think I gotta go tell the guard that I'm ready. I think.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Try to get some sleep, okay?
Yes, sir. Will do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jonathan, I'm ready. I kind of want to know what they're talking about. It's the store.